Today, we're going to dive into a classic that's over 100 years old, but has been the secret engine behind a ton of modern success thinking. It's The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. And look, don't let the 1910 published date fool you. Wattles makes it super clear from page 1. This isn't some fuzzy philosophical book. Nope, he says this is a practical, step-by-step manual, and that getting rich is an exact science. So with that in mind, let's jump right in.
So right out of the gate, Wattles just completely tears down all our usual ideas about what it takes to get rich. You think it's about being smarter than everyone else, or being born in the right neighborhood? Maybe it's about saving every single penny, or you gotta have money to make money, right? Well, he says no, no, and no. As you can see, the real reason is always the same. It's about doing things in a certain way. This is the core idea we're going to unpack, that the way you do things is so much more important than your talent, your location, or the money you start with.
But before we get into the how-to, we have to tackle the why. And Wattles makes a pretty bold claim here. He says that wanting to be rich isn't just okay, it's actually your fundamental right. In fact, he goes even further and says it's a necessity if you want to live a truly complete and successful life.
And what's so powerful about this quote is how it completely reframes the whole idea of wealth. This has nothing to do with greed. It's about having the means to fully develop your body, your mind, and your soul. To travel, to learn, to appreciate art and beauty, to give to others, and to love without limits. So from this point of view, being satisfied with just enough, well, that isn't some noble virtue. It's actually you failing to live up to your full potential.
Okay, here's where things get a little cosmic, but you gotta stick with me on this because understanding this one concept is literally the key that unlocks this entire system. This is the engine behind everything. So what in the world is this original substance? Just imagine there's a single, intelligent, formless energy that makes up everything you see and everything you don't see. It's the raw material for stars, for trees, for you, and for the money in your bank account. The most important part, though, is that it's thinking stuff. That means it can be influenced by your thoughts. The best way to think about it today, it's like a cosmic 3D printer with infinite raw material, just waiting for you to send it a design. And boom, this is where we come in. We're the designers. Our focused thoughts are the blueprints. When you hold a super clear and steady mental picture of what you want, you are impressing that blueprint onto this thinking substance. And once that happens, it has no choice but to start the process of turning your thought into a real physical thing. Let's be really clear about this, because it's everything. Wattles is not talking about simple wishful thinking. He frames this as a scientific law, just as real and predictable as the law of gravity. A thought, when it's held in a certain way, has to create the thing that it images. This principle is the absolute foundation for everything else we're about to talk about.
So we've covered the what, this incredible thinking substance. Now we're going to pivot to the how, and it all starts inside your own head. It's about the discipline of learning to think in a certain way.
And Wattles breaks this down into 3 very practical steps. First, you have to create an absolutely crystal clear and specific picture in your mind of what you want. Not just, oh, I'd like to be rich. No, a detailed vision of the house, the travel, the freedom, what that money will do for you. Second, you have to hold on to that vision with total unwavering faith. You have to believe it's already on its way, that it's yours in the unseen world. And third, you must feel a deep, genuine sense of gratitude for it right now, as if you've already received it.
Now, this is a really critical point, because this is where so many people get it wrong. Thought by itself is not enough. You can't just sit on your couch and visualize a check appearing in the mail. Your thoughts put these amazing creative forces into motion, but you have to connect with those forces by taking powerful, intelligent action right here in the real world.
And here is the stuff you can start doing the moment this is over. First, you have to act now. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity or a better job. Your power is right where you are, in this very moment. Second, make every single action you take today a successful and efficient one. Pour all of your focus and power into doing today's work perfectly. And third, and this is the real secret sauce for getting ahead, in every single thing you do, focus on giving more in use value than what you get paid in cash.
So what on earth is this use value? Well, just look at the slide. It's the actual real-world benefit something gives someone. A tool might only cost you $50, but if it saves the buyer hundreds of hours of work, that's massive use value. So the question you need to ask yourself is this: how can I, in my current role, provide so much value that I dramatically enrich the lives of my boss or my customers way beyond what they're paying me? When you do that, you become a center of creation.
We mentioned gratitude before, but it's so important to this science that it really needs its own spotlight. Wattles basically describes it as your direct phone line to that original substance, to the creative force of the universe itself.
So, you see, gratitude isn't just about being polite. It's a scientific tool. It keeps your mind tuned to the right frequency, focused on the best things. It literally stops you from falling into doubt, fear, and complaining, all of which will just mess up your mental blueprint. A truly grateful mind is always expecting good things to happen, and that powerful expectation, well, that's the very definition of faith.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most revolutionary idea in this entire book. This is the one mindset shift that truly separates this science from pretty much every other approach to success out there.
So think about what this really means. You're not trying to get rich by taking something from somebody else. You're not fighting for a bigger piece of some limited pie. No way. You are a creator. You're using your mind to bring brand new wealth into the world from that formless substance, and the supply of that substance is totally, completely infinite.
And I love how this just brilliantly sums it all up. When you operate on that competitive level, for you to win, someone else often has to lose. But when you get rich on the creative level, your success just adds more to the world. You become an inspiration. You actually open up new paths and opportunities for everyone around you.
So that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. If you really, truly believed that the raw material for all your dreams was infinite and that your success took absolutely nothing away from anyone else, what magnificent vision would you dare to create? What clear mental picture would you start building today?